Alrighty, back for my second stream for today because I only did a short one earlier. So back as I promised some fellow viewers that were watching my previous stream that I would be back, and here I am. So hopefully my good friends will jump on and some new people will meet along the way that might be watching on my Facebook channel. Big shout out to anyone watching Facebook right now as we're about to kick it off with Aussiedigg3r on the fishing of the Barents Sea. So really quickly, just going to make sure that all my bits and pieces are in order. We've chucked out some shout outs. Might do one more fellow tweet. Thank you for that, honey. Here we go, do another tweet out real quick before we get stuck into this. There we go. Just quickly copy and paste all these ones in there. There we go. Nice. Okay, without any further delay, we're about to embark on buying ourselves one of the newest of the fishing trawlers. So, one of the big boats. As I expressed a bit earlier in my other stream, this is what we're about to do. Really quickly, jump on my profile really quickly. Get rid of that. Load it up again. Load this game up. Let's get this saved game loaded. I'm having a speech impediment. No offense to anyone out there that does have a speech impediment. I just happen to be having one at the moment. Continue career. So here we go, continuing career, picking up where we left off a couple of hours ago when I was streaming prior. Hopefully some of my buddies should be joining me shortly on my Mixer channel. There we go, loading in, good stuff, everything's happening. Just need to make sure this is turned down because I don't want to hear myself through that. That's all good. Chat bar there. Put that in front of me actually would be handy so I can see what's going on. Alright, we should be good to go. So basically we're at the stage now where we've paid off our bank loan. We've got to go out and do one more quick fishing trip, and then the bank should offer us another loan of a certain amount once we do another trip, because we've only just paid off the bank loan on the previous save game. So without any further delay, we will check the map and see what's happening with fish. We're coming towards the end of coding season, so we want to capitalize on as much cod as we can. Now, bearing in mind this boat, we have nearly reached our cod limit. So we're probably going to switch boats out. We're going to switch over to one of my other boats to finish getting the cod that we need. Because I've basically used up all my quota for this particular boat that we're in at the moment. I'm going to switch out boats to this one. Yes, I think it's this boat I do enjoy. It's quite a nice boat to drive, this one, and it can hold quite a lot of fish. This is a 10,000 hooker. Yep, I'm going to jump straight into the Wombat. I like this boat. This is a nice boat. Now we've got the Wombat set up for net fishing only. And let's check in our logbook because we're going to need to find out how many nets we needed to place for this particular boat setup. It's a bit vague. I'm trying to recall how many let's have a look. I'm trying to remember how many fish we caught last time when we used this boat setup. Now I can do that by checking in the logbook, which I might do. We all fueled up on this boat. Double check we're fueled up, which we're not. We are now. Top the hull up while we're there. Let's get out to the fishing grounds. While we head out there, we're going to check the logbook. So we're going to set a course. And before we fast travel anywhere and speed things up a bit, we're just going to double check exactly how much quota last time using our fishing logbook records. So see how we go. Start trotting out the harbour. I'm just going to get us on a nice true course, so that way we don't have to worry about crashing into anything while we assess some fishing logs that we have from the previous year. Right, so I should be good to go in this direction for at least a little while. And see, I might plot a course just so I know, because this is where we want to head to anyway. It's up this area. So a little course plotted there while we check these logbooks. Okay, so let's have a look under the captain's logbooks. Alright, gear. Now nets. 165 metre nets get me a maximum of about 10 kg. Anywhere from as little as 5 kg and as big as 12 tonne of fish I've had in one 165 metre net. So 1200, yeah, so about, looking at the records, anywhere from 9 to 10, sort of a 9 to a 10, 11 sort of a record there. So that being said, we are going to know exactly what we're doing now. So we need to head up. I'm going to go up there to these cod grounds and just double check how much weight this boat can hold. I think it's 40 or 50 kg. It's 40,000 tons. So got to be careful that we don't overfish our quota for this particular boat, or per, not quota, but our limit. Can you answer that and tell him to check if my phone's in the car for me, please? Sorry folks, just bear with me. Real life phone call stuff.
Can you check whether Pete's left his phone in your car? He said it might be on the floor.
On the passenger side
On the passenger side.
of his car, it'll be a black phone.
So you've got it. Dad said it was on the seat.
Can he drop it back?
No, out the front.
Oh, out the front.
Seat out front next to your dad.
Go have a look. Oh, okay, well tell him I'll ring you back later.
Alright, we'll have a look for it.
Okay, I do apologise folks.
You get on the phone. And it's on silent, so we can't ring it.
Real life comes first, unfortunately. So, while my partner generously deals with that for me, because I am streaming, I am going to quickly continue our fishing trip up here. Quickly bust a nut up north. So he hasn't got it.
No. So, if it's out the front, he said it would take his on dinner.
Okay. I've lost my phone. I've misplaced my mobile phone at some point in the last 30 minutes, folks, before I started the stream off. So, yeah, that's what.
Check under the chairs out here.
No, I haven't. So that might be worth a look. Maybe under the cushions, or it might have fell down. I thought I looked already, to be honest, but
Yeah, you know what thought
I could be wrong. So, nice. We're gonna drop these nets on this big clump. You can see this big concentrated clump of yellow basically right there, which is indicating to us at the moment there's a nice healthy. Oh, actually I had all species turned on. My apologies. The cod are not here. Damn it, there was some down there where we just were.
Fuck me, you must have looked real hard, eh?
God damn. I just realised, you notice on the top right corner of the screen here, you'll see a fish filter population. I had it on the wrong type of fish species. It just so happens under all the under all the planning that just went into that, I just didn't double check. So, and I'm kicking myself, but you know what? It's turned out good because there's a big clump near us anyway, so we're good. We're good. There's a bigger, healthier clump. We're just going to embark over this direction. Quickly fast travel. Got to quickly reveal some of these blotches of the map yet that we haven't truly revealed, so we're going to do that now. Thank you, honey, for that. Did you give me a thingo as well too, or? Oh, right. Alright, so here we go. We're going to quickly... You can see that part of the map there that's still not quite been revealed. So we're just going to quickly speed travel and open up these parts of the map, which we're doing now. Alright, good. Now we're on the cod grounds. Cool, cool. Let's do it. So we're going to go right here. We're going to drop one of our first... How many nets are we going to drop? We're going to drop 4 165 metre nets and then a slightly smaller net. And then you'll see in the end when it comes to retrieving this gear that we are actually in fact going to have the right amount of fish for this vessel. And we're not going to overfish or anything like that. So that's good. We're just going to speed up a little bit until we get on the fishing grounds a bit more. We want the boat well and truly on that really concentrated yellow, which is telling us that's where a lot of the fish are congregating at the moment. So make sure I get right in on the yellow here. We're going to drop out our net. So releasing the net, making sure we keep the boat rather, you know, level, not having it rock too much. Like you've got this bar that indicates up here, you've got to steer the opposite direction in which way the blue slider is going. So if it's going right, you need to steer left. If it's going left, you need to steer right. To sort of, you're fighting it a little bit. And in really stormy conditions, you will notice that trying to set out a trawling net like this in really stormy conditions is going to be extremely difficult because you're going to have the waves rocking and everything. And if you're not careful when you go out in really rough weather, you can have a situation where you can actually break the net completely, totally break the net. So, and that's something that we want to avoid. And it's nice and calm waters today, so we're looking good. We don't have to fear for that problem. So we've just dropped our first net. We're going to quickly drop the second one, and then we're going to do my classic little spin around the block to give them time to soak, and also give them time for you got to allow for time when placing multiple nets. You got to allow for the time that it takes to reel in the net. So if you place out too many nets consecutively, one after the other, as I've mentioned this prior, you will notice that you will get to a point where when you've gone from the first net to coming back to picking them up and you've got to the fifth net, it's already past its point because you haven't left a little bit of a gap in between dropping them. And that's kind of like in real life too. Real fishermen, real trawlermen, me being keen avid fisherman, mentioned times before when I've been streaming that I've got my own skipper's ticket, so I know a fair bit about fishing and how it works here in Australia. So definitely got some cool tips and bits of information to share with everyone that's watching or will be watching. Is and will be, and currently. While I think about it, I'm going to wish everyone a big Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everybody, and a Happy New Year.
Okay. Can you ring him back, tell him you found it? Oh, okay. He'll work it out. So now after just dropping the second net, basically what we are going to do, we're going to do a quick around the, and you'll see why I do this later on. I've shown other people who were watching my stream yesterday why I do this. It's imperative that you kind of do a little bit of a 45-minute run around. You'll notice the time now is 1:15. It says 1:15 in the top left corner of the screen. Basically, after I do this little bit of it, it's going to be around more 2 o'clock. It's going to give about a 45-minute gap, which is what we want. So we're going to hit fast travel. There we go, just after 2 o'clock. That's good. So we've left a nice little bit of time now in between before we do the next drop. So when you look at the hooks and you go to how long the deployed gear's been soaked for, it's been an hour and 43 minutes in game time that those 2 nets that we just dropped have been soaking for. So now that being said, we're now ready to continue on with dropping another 2 nets. And we are going to drop the other 2 over in this direction over here. Alright, so we're going to drop another 165 metre net now. And this will all come together towards the end when we're coming back and it's time to retrieve all this gear. This is where it's going to really shine. So, now I'm just going to have a brief cigarette very quickly, and I don't like to smoke while I'm streaming, so I have a purposely made photoshopped image that's going to replace my cam, just explaining that I will be right back on cam, but I'm still here in voice and in spirit and physically. You just cannot see me on the cam just while I'm smoking. I don't promote smoking, and I do entertain teen-rated streams and stuff, sort of family-friendly content, and I try to not advertise the fact that I'm a smoker, and it is a nasty habit that I want to kick again eventually, so touch wood, that'll happen. I did manage to quit at one stage some time ago. So we've just dropped our 3rd net. We're going to drop our 4th one really quickly over here, just next to it in relation to it. So we're going to drop the 4th 165 metre net. Okay, and you'll see all this culminate into something more beautiful that makes sense towards the end. So notice the water's nice and calm. Hopefully we're just getting out of the late stages of winter in the game at the moment. It does make visibility in the game, as it would in real life, naturally a lot more harder to see, especially when it comes to retrieving your nets. When it comes to retrieving buoys and stuff, it makes it very difficult. Okay, so we've just dropped our 4th net. Now what we're going to do is we do another little bit of a scoot around, just about 20-30 minutes, just to and do our 5th one. And basically, you'll see why, as I've shown prior, why I do this. Why I have little spurts of time, because if you drop them too fast, one after another, you're not going to pick them up all in time. It's as simple as that. It's happened to me when I first started playing this game, when I was a noob at it and I was learning all the ropes, and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to be like a full-on crazy fisherman and go out and just drop as many nets as I can. And yeah, no, it's a bit more, there's a bit more maths involved. There's a bit, you know, you just can't, it does have that realistic aspect to it, whereas you just can't drop what you like and pick up what you like. It's got to be suited for the vessel and whatnot. So what we're going to do now is, to kill a bit of time, we're going to chug down. Yeah, should we chug over there? Yeah, we're going to chug down to the port and kill some time. It's going to be probably about a 5-hour trip. We're going to time it because we've got enough time to get back before the nets are ready. So it's now 4:15, it says, in the morning. So if we time how long it's going to take back, I'm going to guess about 5 hours in-game time to get back to that local port. So if we do it now, 4:15, and by the time we get there, the time will be 4:15 to 10 o'clock. So, or about 10 o'clock. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 6 hours. About a 6-hour trip. So bear in mind, you want to leave yourself enough time to get back to those nets when they're ready. And how we do this is, before we go into the port, we just go to the hooks. We see that the first net has been set now for 9 hours. It's going to take 6 hours to get out there. So that's going to bring it up to 16 hours, 15, 16 hours the nets have been in the water for. And they need to be in the water for about 19 hours in total before we can pick them up. So a bit of basic maths there, and it comes to the equation that we need to stay in port for thereabouts of 3 hours. That is what you're aiming for. You want to come back into port with this particular scenario for 3 hours to speed up those nets and make sure you have enough time to get back out there. And we're going to see all this play out here in a few moments' time. So now I've finished my cigarette, I'm also going to turn my cam back on so people can see what I'm doing, and I am here. Alright, there we go, that's all back on, good stuff. Alright, so we're just pulling into port. So we're going to stay in port for about 2 hours. We're going to 2 to 3 hours. I'm going to play it a little bit safer. I'm going to go 2 hours, because one thing you got to remember, folks, is you can always kill a bit of time out there. That's not a problem. As far as trying to get time back, it's impossible. It's not doable, is it? So better to be early than late, right? So we're going to skip some time. We're going to skip 2 hours. Skip 2 hours, there we go, and then we're going to head straight back. We're also going to quickly fuel up, because I used a bit of fuel gallivanting around the countryside. Alright, so there we go, so we've fueled up, done a very quick pit stop. We're going to do a U-bolt, turn around, and head straight back out there and see what we've got. Alright, so here we go. So basically we're going to head straight back out there, and by the time we get out here, these nets are going to be absolutely perfect. Absolutely perfecto. So we're going to come on our current approach there for that first net that needs to be picked up. And as you'll see, these nets are going to go from red to yellow, from yellow to green, from green to blue. And in that blue gap is what you want. And there you go, they've just gone green. So we're a little bit early, got a little bit of time to kill. Just going to check exactly how much time we're early by. It should only be by about an hour. Yeah, so we're about an hour early. That's good. That's pretty good. I'd rather be an hour early than an hour late. So what we're going to do is we're going to get our crew ready to haul the nets. Now don't forget to always place your crew members in their corresponding skill fields. You know, some crew are more trained at doing other jobs. For example, when you hover over this fella here, he's actually my net hauler, so I'm going to get him hauling the net. And that guy there is my freezer. He's my freezer stacker. This guy is my gutter. He's pretty good at that job. Yep, machine gunning. And we're all good to go. We're all good to go retrieve these nets. We're just going to kill a little bit more time because they're not quite blue just yet. So we're going to quickly just kill a bit of this time here, like that. Let me put another waypoint there. Oh, there we go. So we go, killed a bit more time. How much time we got left now? This boat is really good on fuel too, which is good. Oh no, a little bit, about another half an hour. So another half an hour, so we just do another quick scoot around, which this should bring us on the money. Alright, so I'm going to approach this net, and as I approach it, it's going to be blue, you watch. It's going to be on the money. So here we go, we just got to keep our eyes peeled, once again pointing out that then in these really foggy pea and ham soup wintry conditions, finding your net is difficult at the best of times, but especially when it's really swelly and you've really got the whole waves thing going on. It's real, these floats go up and down out of the water and out of sight, out. Alright, I found it. I just spotted it as I was talking. There it is. These things are difficult to spot in these conditions, very difficult. So you'll notice, as I mentioned earlier, that it would be blue by the time we approach, and sure enough it is. So this is what we're looking for. You can see my crew in there down the bottom ready to retrieve the first haul. And there we go. So we just wait for the crew to do their thing. You can go, at this point you can jump out of the cockpit. You can go down and have a look at what the crew's doing down there if you so wish. Actually, I've gone the wrong way. Got to go this way. Pardon me. Nope, not that way, this way. Oh no, I'm going the wrong way. Here we go. That's what I was trying to show everybody. So here's my crew sorting out the fish. We've got some big codlies coming through the fishing lines there. Some big codly action. So, look at this really quickly. codlies. Quite a few. It's mainly what we're fishing for at this point is a lot of cod. So, because again, pointing out that codding season is coming to a abrupt end here in the very short future, because we're in the last month for this year. So how much did these guys get? Ooh, not very much at all. Jesus, how much do you pull in? Oh, that was a shithole. I'll be doing the next one. I think I'll be doing the next one. If you ever get a point like that where your two crew that you've assigned to pull in the nets aren't like getting very good results, switch one of them out and replace yourself with that member, and you watch the difference of the next haul. I'm going to show you this prime example right now. I'm going to pull in the next net, and instead of like we just had set up, instead of one of my guys that's resting going to be doing the net haul with the other guy, I'm going to do it because I want to beef up the catch. And always, if you do it right and you get that little mini game down pat, it's going to work out good, and you're always going to pull in the best results for that particular net. So we're going to show you how this works. I'm going to prove this to you right now. So as we approach net number 2, which has been soaking for 19 hours, which is smack on right in front of me, you'll note the difference, and I'm going to show in the logbooks the difference in catches that you get when you are utilising a crew member to do all the work and relying on their skill set, and when you mix yourself in with that work and do it with them, you actually yield better results. So in a situation like we got now, I need some more fish because that last one that they pulled in by themselves was absolutely disgraceful. So we are going to do it myself with the other crew members. So here we go. So we're about getting ready to pull the net in. Here we go. We're going to pull it in. Alright, and there's going to be a little mini game that pops up. You've got to use the D-pad and basically do that. It's a little mini game. It does become tedious after a while, but that's what you have crew for, and you don't do it all the time. You only do it when you want to get an extra bit of fish action happening because some of your crew haven't been doing very good retrievals. In like the prime example we had just a little bit earlier. So you can see flawlessly we are doing this little mini game. Gone and said that now, and I'll stuff up and no, I won't. Look, I'm doing alright, we're nearly there. Here we go, so pulling in some big cod action. Those beautiful cod, nice fresh eyeballs, nice and fresh straight out the water, going into the restaurant for a bit of smoked cod. Oh shit, I damaged the net. All that happens is when you damage the net, you just got to repair it. So you'll notice that pull was a lot better than we just had last time. And I'll show you. You can see that the hull of the boat is raised up. You can see that we've got much more fish that round. So let's have a look. So you'll notice on the right hand page, the two nets on the bottom right page, they're the two nets that we've just retrieved. The first net was what my crew members retrieved in themselves, and they got a total haul of 3,697 kilos. Now with me doing it with them and not relying on the crew, the same size net in the same waters soaked for the same period of time, we retrieved 9,869 kilos. So pretty much double from me doing it as opposed to the crew. Now that will change as you level up your crew. You will they'll be able to do it all themselves and get those sorts of results. But because my crew aren't completely fully leveled at this point yet, I have to step in from occasion like I've just done just to top up the numbers. So what we're going to do is we're going to go retrieve the other nets now. So for this haul, I'm actually going to let the crew do this one. I'm going to swap it over so it balances it out. We're going to put this chap back over here. We're going to let them pull this one and see what they do next time. Let's see. Because I've already topped our numbers up a bit. We're not so desperate. We've still got 3 nets to pull in, so there's still a lot of room there. So we're doing all right. here we go. Pulling up to this net just here. Nice and steady she goes. Perfect. Alright, so we're going to let them pull that one up and see what we've got, see what goodies we get. Let's see what goodies we have from this haul. Alright. So, just double check a few things. While we wait for my crew members to pull in all these fishies. All these fishes. Okay, so they've pulled that haul in. How much did they get? They got 6,000 kilos. Ugh. How much room we got left? Alright, so I'm going to have to pull in probably the next 2 nets, I think, just to bump up the catch. So that being said, we're just going to quickly actually sling this bloke in the machine gutting section. He can help them finish gutting the fish. I'm going to zip around to this net and I'm going to haul this one in. Pardon me. Alrighty, so our net is dead ahead. Right in front of us. Just got to make sure I get everything ready here. Retrieve the net. Alright. Everything's going pretty smoothly at this point. Pretty smoothly. Here we go, pulling in, nice tight angle there on the buoy. Pulling in, stopping, and retrieving the net. Here we go. Another little mini epic game. This is going rather well indeed. We're doing pretty good. This is turning out to be not a bad little haul so far, all in all. Too shabby. See what fishies we get out of this lot. Oh crap, just damaged my net. You just got to repair your nets when you go back to the harbour is all. When it comes to that sort of stuff. Nice, that was a good haul. Beautiful. That's just about filled the boat, that hole. Holy crap, we've only got 2,000 odd tons free. That's going to be a problem. We might not be able to fit that last lot of fish in. What we will do is we will get the crew to pull this one in, so it will help out with pulling in less numbers to start with, which is this scenario what we're after. And I'm also going to wait till this net goes green. So that way I don't get quite as many fish, because I don't want as many fish off this hole, because we've just about filled our boat. So we're just going to burn a bit of fuel to get this net to go green, which it now has. Good. That's what I wanted, because I don't want to, I'd rather just kill a bit of time, burn a bit of fuel, than pulling a net that I know I'm not going to get to keep all the fish because I know my boat's nearly full. It's just a complete waste of time, and common sense says otherwise, right? So I'm going to approach this net, let the boys pull this one in, let the old crew member down there pull this one in, and hopefully they don't pull in too many, and just enough to top up the boat. We only need about another 2,000 kilos thereabouts. So, hey Rock for Life, welcome back buddy, welcome to my stream. What's up my bro? I'm just quickly out doing a little bit of fishing just before we buy the big trawler boat, so the bank will give me a bigger loan. So I've deliberately let these nets go green because I'm just about full, so I'm just hoping the boys on the boat aren't going to retrieve a lot of fish on this particular pool, because we are at just about capacity. I had a very brief squiz, I'll be honest, I haven't had a proper read yet, but it does look exciting. I'm definitely going to be buying that game as soon as it hits the shelves. So that does look pretty crazy. I'm going to look at it a lot more when I get some time. So just waiting for these guys to finish. So what have you been up to in the last couple of hours, mate? Not a great deal? Here we go. Let's see what these guys end up with. Turn my light off, search light off. Storage is full. Well, at least we're at capacity. All right, let's think. Let's think. Where are the cod going? I had to switch boats very briefly as well, Rock. Oh, where? Another streamer. Oh yeah, what, streaming the same game or? Not quite as experienced as myself, no doubt. Actually, give me 2 seconds, man. I'll be right back. I'm just going to go to the toilet really quickly. I'll be right back. Give me 2 seconds. Alright, I am back. Nice one. Someone doing a bit of trawling action. Good stuff. Alright. I must admit, I could have already well and truly been in a trawler before this point right now, but because I've been more savvy about worrying about showing a lot of people the different boats and setups, I've kind of nearly purchased every boat you could buy, nearly. And so that being said, it's kind of been a bit of a drawback on me getting into a trawler as quick as I could have been. So, but I did that for reasons, as I said, wanted to show people more content of the boats rather than just getting straight out to the trawling action. But now we're going to today I'm buying my trawler. You watch. Alright, so what I want to do is I want to quickly race back down here, drop this catch off, and I want to see how much the bank's willing to give me now. So let's see how much the bank's willing to loan me, because I already paid off that $9 million loan. That's completely all paid off and done with. So let's see. Let's have a look-see. A lot of boating action going on the water at the moment. Look at all these boats floating around. Holy dolly. Boats everywhere. Alright. Let's go hand in this catch and see what the bank's going to throw at us this time. Oh, I forgot to put my crew members back to bed. Crew members are going to be like, Aussie, you beep. Supposed to put us back to bed after we finish doing our job. There we go, back to bed. Off yous go. Into beddy, boys. No fraternising with the ladies. I do have one lady trawler woman on the boat, and I repeat, there is no fraternising with any other staff members on my crew. Strictly against the rules. There is no sloppy fish action going on my boat. Alright, there we go. There we go. Can you sell to a big boat? You cannot sell any of your boats. Once you own them, that's it. You own them. They're yours. You can't sell them. Unfortunately. Alright, let's see. Let's sell that. Yep, that was beautiful. How much of the bank's going to give us now? Holy dollies! Look at how much the bank... Now, what did I tell you? And note this, everybody watching, note this. This is really important. I came into the harbour on my previous fishing trip. I had a $9.8 million bank line. Alright? I paid that off, and the bank were only going to throw at me, the biggest loan they were going to throw at me, where at the bottom this one is sitting, $16.4 million. Right, the biggest loan the bank were going to throw at me was $11 million. Now, I went out and I did one quick fishing trip, came back, and look, they're going to throw nearly $17 million at me. So just because they throw a figure at you and it may not suit your needs, don't think that that's the end of it, and for another few months, you can just quickly go do a trip, come back, sell some more fish, and by then you've proven to the bank that, you know, you're a good investment, and they're just going to keep wanting to throw money at you, just like banks do in real life, I guess. Hey, I mean, we can all agree on that. So, I'm going to go for this loan. I've just taken it. I'm now going to buy the boat, the trawler boat, one of the trawler boats. Now, there are two trawler boats. One's extremely more difficult to handle than the other one, so bear that in mind. One takes far more skill, in my opinion, from playing it on PC. This one's a relatively easy boat to drive. This thing here, not a huge dilemma. Oh, actually, correction. No, I've got it the wrong way around. That boat's easy to drive. The lunar bow isn't. Yeah, that's right. I was mixing them up there for a second. I had to reacquaint myself with which one was the prick to learn to drive and which one wasn't so much of a prick to learn to drive. Because I watched multiple YouTube videos 4 months ago when I was playing this on PC. And I'm pretty confident, yeah, it is. It's this one. This is the one that's a prick. Not a prick, but hard. It's just challenging, right? It's just, once you get used to it, it's fine. It's just initially a bit of a... You'll see. About getting the doors at the right width and the net opening at the right amount, at the right depth, and all the hoo-wah. And so... Now, one thing I've realised, I haven't got my skipper's ticket fully upgraded in the game yet. You'll notice that when we go to the Hermes, it says on the bottom screen there, it says that it's locked. It says locked, meaning I haven't fully got the next... So I can only at this point purchase the lunar bow. Or the lunar boat. Now, the only problem with purchasing that boat right now is, for one... it can only catch mackerel and pollock. That's not too bad, really. All in all, that's not. We can work with that. How much ticket left? How much more travelling do I have to do to get the next ticket? Ugh. Another 100 kilometers before I can buy the other boat. So at this point, we've got to ask ourselves a very serious and important question. Do we go out and burn 100 kilometers worth of fuel? No, we don't. I'll tell you why. Because the other factor to take into account is the fact that the lunar bow, or bow, is 14.9 mil, but the Hermes is 19.9. I literally only have just enough to buy the Hermes. So I don't want the Hermes. I think it's the... Is it the Hermes? No, it must be the Hermes that's... It's the Hermes that's cunt. It's the it's the Hermes that's the prick to set the nets for, to get used to doing it. Alright, so that's cool. Alright, so we've just bought the lunar bow. It says select yes below if you would like to do trawling with the tutorial in order to learn how to troll. Now, I'm probably going to select yes for 3 reasons, or 2 reasons. 1, it's YouTube and I haven't played it on YouTube. And 2, the last time I did the tutorial for PC was at least 4 months ago. That being said, let's get straight into the tutorial. Okay, a mission waypoint has been set. In the far northwest of the map, you may fast travel. Okay, so before we do that, we want to see if we can purchase any upgrades. They're going to be expensive for this boat. Really expensive. That's not too bad. I'll get the storage upgrade. I'll get one of the engine upgrades. That leaves us with 1.5 mil. Get the radar up. You want to always equip the radar as best you can. Scanmar door sensor, that thing is a must. This thing here is also a must to utilize the ship's full potential. So is that. Right, we literally just had enough money to get the key things that we need to get this ship moving correctly. So without any further delay, let's quickly go to the crew house. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people on board. How many can this ship crew again? I just want to quickly check from my memory banks. I forgot. I'll quickly check on the doobie down here. 7. We need 2 more crew. I've only got 5. I need to put... Now, I've deliberately not bought 2 more because I want to buy 2 more, preferably, that are good at trawling. Right? So... there's no crew here available. We're going to have to go to one of the other ports along the way and see if we can pick up another 1 or 2 crew members that are more specifically already partially trained in the specifics of trawling. So on the way up to the open waters, we are going to go up there and have a bit of a look-see. Now you notice with these big boats, to get off the pier, you've got these bow thrusters, or port and starboard thrusters rather, not bow, but port and starboard side thrusters. You want to utilise them to get off these jetties. See, right now I'm just scraping the jetty when I don't want to be. I'm just going to wait. You've got to take your time. You've got to take your time with these trawlers. You do not want to... These things are really slow going, you know, at first. And I haven't even got all the engine upgrades yet as well, so bearing that in mind, it's not going to perform quite as well as what it will when it's fully upgraded. Sorry, I do apologise, Rock, I haven't been keeping up with your chat because I've been too busy focusing on... Can you sort of be about... I mean your catch. Hang on, 1 second, mate. I mean your catch, 96 kilometres, 3, you are using a controller. Oh, okay, in reference to the... I see what you're saying, I do apologise. And what's that? You just need 4 for the... Oh, you just need 4, don't you, for this boat? Is that right? Oh, you can buy the extra crew if you want to have the bigger the 2 stack of freezers and the... yeah. You can upgrade this boat to utilise 7, but you just need 4. I see what you're saying now from now. I think I remember that actually now when I think about it. Yep. Alright, so let's bust in. Oh, look at it now. This is going to be. This is what I want to check out, how they've differentiated it between PC, because these screens. See how you can flick through these screens and show important things and not so important things. They do become important. Navigation. Speed. Raising the chair up a little bit there, Mr. Pumpernickel. Turn this boat around this way. Alright, so before we head, while this boat just cruises along and does its thing, I'm going to run back here because this is the chair you need to use when it comes to retrieving the nets on this bad boy. This thing was a pain in the ass to learn to use. Yeah, this is the trawler that's a pain in the ass. This is the one, I think, that's a pain in the bum. I'm going to soon remember when I find out. But I'm starting to familiarise myself with these controllers. It gets a bit overwhelming at first. This data, you don't need... There are only certain important things you need on this ScanMar screen, and setting this up is a mission in itself. I actually had to watch a YouTube video of a fella that had to show me how to set this damn thing up. So this is all going to be a bit of a refreshing course for me. I may have to do some quick homework. I'm just going to quickly charge my phone because it's just about flat. Just bear with me. Just gonna plug that in to charge. But I'm going to have to do some homework. So let me just try and refresh my memory. Add measurement, remove measurement. We need that catch. We need the port door, starboard door. We need all that. The DP, hashtag 2 and the DP are two different things. Or similar, thereabouts. Add a measurement. Oh, see, here it all is again. Oh my god, this is all bringing back memories. Oh lordy. Oh jeez, I need a cigarette real quick. I need a cigarette real quick. I'm gonna pause my camera. This is a cigarette moment right now. Oh god, I'm starting to all come back to me now. It's all coming back to me now. Ah, shit. Okay. Alright. Ah, dear me. Let's try to think. Tilt, tension. Hopefully the tutorial is going to help me refresh some of the bits I am missing. Because I'm very vague with it all at the moment. Very vague. Alright, without further delay, let's fast travel. So quickly fast traveling, and we're going to see if we can... Well, should I pick... I don't really need to worry about picking up another crew member, to be frank. Yeah, at this point, because I don't even have those upgrades. So at this stage, we just get straight out there. With that bearing in mind. Oh, shit. There, thank you. Alright, let's see what the tutorial is going to have in store for us today, folks. Hopefully it'll give me a refresher on some of the more key things that I need to be worrying about. Alright, here we go. Up here. Where's the select go to open water button on the Xbox? Press Y to return to third person mode, then select go open water. Oh, here? Oh, there. Found it. I remember now. Set your speed to 4 knots, which is optimal trawl speed for trawling. Open crew management interface below and assign 4 crew members to set the trawl task. Well, that all does sound very familiar. Who's good at setting trawl nets? He's pretty good. Set trawl. You're gonna need 4 anyway. So these are my top 4 workers. These guys. So there we go. Alrighty, now change to move to the back of the bridge and sit at the control deck. Yeah, I remember that. That does come in sound in handy. Alright, so now change there. Alright, I'm going to sit at the back. Wasn't I already sitting at the back? Yeah, I was. Oh shit, now I'm not. Am I? Yes, I am. Control deck A. This is control deck A, isn't it? Yeah, right? Okay. Right. It's confusing me. It says now change to the first person mode and move to the back of the deck. Well, I did that, right? Maybe. No. So that means over here then. Okay. Here we go. To set trawl, interact with the set trawl button on your left. Which from memory is that one. So, set trawl doors down to 50 meters and set doors in locked position. Levers in idle. Levers in idle. Use levers on your left and right to control door depths. Yeah, I remember that. Interact with the button to your left to start trawling. Oh jeez, here we go. I hate when there's shitloads of stuff to read. That other chick I've got in the crew, she is a cook. She's good at cooking. I might get her cooking soon. Alright, so let me quickly read this as a refresher. You can interact with the two levers to your left and right in order to control the length of the warp wires. This determines the depth and lateral position of the trawl doors and the trawl net. Look at the forward sonar in the right corner on the screen in front of you. Here you see the port and starboard trawl door. Circles are schools of fish and the closest circle are marked with the distance from your ship. Release the wires until the trawl doors are at a depth of 50 meters or more for an optimal catch. Set both levers in the idle position to lock the trawl doors at their current depth. The closest schools of fish are marked showing their distance from your ship. The catch sensor indicates how much fish there is in the trawl bag. To see a higher catch rate, you'll have to buy more sensors at the port. Adjust the warp wire, which we've already done. Adjust the warp wire length using levers until the trawl doors are at the same depth as the schools of fish, then lock the doors at this depth to try direct your trawl doors, such as the schools of fish fall between them, now trawl for 10,000 kilos of fish. Okay. Interesting. So you can see the trawl doors that it's talking about up here, right on the right hand side. Okay, so you got your port and starboard, port being red, green starboard. So now this is letting the line out. And you can see the depth of the doors currently at 12 or 16 and 18. They're slowly going down. So when they get down, we're going to lock them in at 50 or thereabouts, as it did mention. Okay, I'm going to start moving the boat forward a little bit now that we have dropped these. Now we want to start locking these off here in a second, so I'm just going to, I want to lock these in just for the moment because we're getting close to, right, so now we want to let them out again. Fuck, there's got to be a quick way of doing this shit. Right, so there we go, let them out a bit more. Okay. How fast are we going? Where's my speed when I'm on the front here? I can't see the goddamn speed. Oh, there, 5 knots. I see it up there on the top right. Just over 6 knots. We're just going to slow down a little bit. Lock this trawl door off. Lock this one off. Okay, so we're getting about to the green one can do with opening more. I think this one's the one that's the green one. This is the only bit you've got to get used to, is which one. Nah, that's the red one. I knew it. That's the red one. We want to let out the green one. I want to let out the green one a tad more. Just a wee bit more. Just a wee bit. Nothing too serious. There we go. See, what, they don't have to be dead on 50-50, and I watched this on a YouTube video. You don't want them exactly both on 50. You want one on about 49, the other one on 40, or thereabouts. A slight little variance here. So what we're going to do is we're going to keep trawling forward here. I'm just going to quickly double check my speed. might change it back to... Oh, there we go, that's good. There we go, that's perfect trawl speed right there. So now all we need to do is come across a bunch of fish. Which there's a school coming in front of us. I think if we're lucky, we might catch this school over here. If we're lucky. Now you've got to be very careful when steering the boat. You want to do very, very small steering adjustments because it's going to slightly fungal the net a little bit. If you go too fast, too quickly, the net's going to get all twisted and shit and fucking goes all to crap really quickly. Well, it fixes itself, but it just takes a while and you lose out on any fish you might catch. So I'm just going to open up this trawl door just a little bit more. And then we're going to open up this one just a little bit more. Going to lock this one off now because we're about to come into some fish, and we're going to lock this one off. Here we go, we're about to come into a school of fish right now. See that? See up here, you can see on the bottom right corner they're 261 meters out and closing in. They should hopefully, or at least that next school in front of us should hit one of my doors. It should be on the money here. I've got to remember how to read that screen again. It's a bit vague. I'm trying to remember all this. Okay. Let's have a look at a few bits and pieces. So you can also control the trawl doors. There is a little bit of adjustment. You'll notice this toggle I'm looking at over here, which I'm familiar with from playing it last time, and I did forget to turn my camera back on, which is a bit annoying, is through the D-pad. Correct, Rock for Life. It is the D-pad, which is what I'm using to control it now. You do have a slight bit of adjustment there when it comes to... why aren't I catching... That trawl door's going over some fish right now. The thing I'm trying to work out is how... I'm trying to remember what indicates to me how deep the fish are again. Like, how deep the fish are, right? I'm trying to remember how to catch on to that. Speed up the boat a little bit. See, what I'm trying to remember, Rock, is whether I've got to have the fish in between those two doors, which we just had, or whether they've got to be on the doors. I think, from memory, pardon me. Oh, that screen at the bottom, that horizontal piece at the bottom there, next to the widget. Here, I'll show you what I mean. Next to this widget over here, where I'm moving the widget around, this piece at the bottom there indicates where it's got 7 there, or on the doors itself. On the doors itself, is that the depth? So it is 50 meters, right? That we're sat at the moment. But how do you tell how deep the fish are? I know the door. I know what depth my net's set at, but how do you tell how deep the fish are? The depth of the net set via the doors. That's the sea floor, right? The one at the bottom I'm talking about, underneath the doors. But you see that... yeah, that light blue stuff? That's the fish, isn't it? From memory. Right? Yeah. Yeah. I think we're about to come across a school here. Oh, my doors are closing in. What's going on? Oh, my door's closing in. Oh, my door's closing in. What's going on? My doors are moving. What's DP3 mean? Can you see DP3? The one to the right of my head on the pit, that way, that one. DP3. It says 83. What's that mean again? See, I've got to get all these... I've got to quickly check all these things again. I'm going to have to do some homework on this just to refresh certain things. What's that DP3 mean again? I can't fucking remember. Yeah, I know there's some that aren't necessary. Some you don't even need to use. I'm wondering if that's one of them. That could have been one of them that I've forgotten about that I don't even need. What's DP4 stand for? What's the one at the top right next to my compass? 795. Is that the length of the net? Is that the length? See, I've got to double check this stuff. Can't actually, in fact, remember some of these important bits and pieces. So we're heading north. And you know the other thing I can't quite remember, Rock? You know when you're looking at that screen, and the only way I can point to it is doing... You know when you're looking at this screen over here where I'm putting my widget, is the boat in the middle of those two doors coming down this way, going down towards that way, or are we there going up, or is it a picture of the boat and we're going across in that? I'm trying to remember the relation of how that screen correlates with the direction of the boat, right? You get what I mean. I'm trying to remember when looking at that screen, like, what does that correlate into, which way type deal. I'm convinced it's geez, I'm gonna have to make a little cursor marker thingy on my screen so people can see where I'm. Actually, I might do that in a second, so that way it's easier for you to see what I'm trying to ask or say. Or it is a picture under the boat, but I want to know. You know what I'm saying, right? You know why it's vital to know, because you can then steer the doors towards the fish, but you don't know which way to steer if you don't know which way you're going in correlation to that damn radar. I'm going to try and work this out again just from staring around. Let's try this. I'm going to do some steering. So notice the doors, I've steered north. These doors are going that way. Still going down. Maybe I should have steered that way, goddammit. So what happens if I steer to the left? I'm now steering to the left. Let's see which you'll notice the north compass is, the boat's now going northwest. Let's see what the doors do now. And you'll notice when you first change course, the doors will close in like that. And then when they settle, they'll release back out and settle out again. Let's see what happens. I'm trying to aim for that big blob of fish, is what I'm trying to aim for. And it says it's on my port side. Now the port side is the left side of the boat. I'm steering towards the left in hopes of catching that school of fish. This is the bit that I'm vague on. This is where it gets a bit hazy. There should be a spot in between the doors of your boat. What do you mean? On that picture there should be a picture of my boat. Actually, you know what? Shouldn't there be a picture of my boat? Show me which way I'm pointing. I remember on PC, where those starboard and port doors are, there should be a picture of which way your boat's pointing. Why isn't there on the Xbox? Why is there not one on the Xbox? I just noticed that. Pardon me, how do I get rid of that damn friggin... Let me just look at something real quick. Oh shit, I just realised it wasn't even going very fast. We'll work this out. Here we go. Now my doors are spreading apart now that I'm going a bit faster than I was. Let's see. I'm going to try some crazy stuff. Not recommended. But I think I'm going to work this out. Both doors have to be within the one bloom from memory? Is that how it had... Is that right? From memory? This is tricky. Definitely gonna have to... No, just one door. Just one. Alright. That's what I thought. That's what I figured, to be honest. We'll get it. I know when you get on a school of fish, it doesn't take long to fill these puppies up. You see that whole, which my goddamn picture's in the way, but that whole catch, oh goddamn, I wrecked the wrong one. That whole catch, where are we? You'll see to where I've moved my cam out of the way of that catch thing there on the left-hand side. That doesn't take very long at all to really go ham when you do get on the fish. I've seen that catch flow rate thing just go 100 miles an hour and when you really get on the fish, right? Oh, look, there's one. Shit, I'm oversteering. Come on, fishies. I'm going to drop these nets a bit more. I'm convinced they're not down far enough. Oh, the spider! Oh, good call. I totally forgot about the spider. Shh. There it is. Oh, crap. How do I add it? Oh, I've got to select one of these to replace. Poo. There. Oh, oh, shit. Now I remember the... Oh, here we go. That's what I'm looking... Okay, so I'm going way too fast. Those doors need to go down way deeper. Now I can... Hey, where'd the spider go? Why isn't it on the... Oh, there it is. Okay, so these doors... So, alright, we're getting it. Those doors need to... Alright, we're good, we're good. Let's shut the doors off real quick. I remember how to use this spider. This, you got to have that so it looks like a hexagonal like type shape, like a roof of a house, and then the square. So you got to have that. So it's awesome. Yeah. What? Oh, I just caught some fish by accident. Holy shit! I just caught some fish while I was trying to do that. Awesome. You have successfully caught 10,000 kilos of fish. You may continue trawling if you want. The trawl net on the Luna bow can hold up to 500 tons of fish. Otherwise, when you are ready, you can continue to prepare to haul in the trawl net. Assign 4 crew members to haul. Alright, good stuff. We're going to continue because we want way more fishies than that. Way more fishes than that, people. And we also want one of these trawl doors down a lot further. Go with that one. See how as I am letting that other trawl door, that green spider, the right green icon slowly pulling out now. It's going to pull the net white opener. It's going to really open it out now. Watch this. Watch this. Here we go. This is what we're looking for. Okay. Turn that off now. That one's off. Alright, so we still want... Alright, so now we just got to wait for another school of fish to come past. Our trawl speed's pretty much spot on. Our distance between doors isn't too bad. The depth, however, needs to go down more. These need to be let out way more. Both of them at the same time. So the net doesn't go on the piss. So watch this. See my port doors now going through that school of fish? See that? It's now going through that school of fish. Or it was. It nearly was. Just got to slow down a little bit. We're going a little bit too fast. So just slow down. There we go. Not too much, not too much. Not too much. We're catching fish. We're nearly at 20%. We have caught a small amount of fish so far. Yeah, the speed one. The speed one was going to be... I've slowed it down now. That one's going pretty good. I want to get those depth DP down more. We need to let the net out more. Way more. Scratch fucking 50 meters. It's ridiculous. It's not enough. To open this net out, I'll show you. I'm starting to remember this now. It's all coming back to... It's all coming back to me now. Oh shit, too much. That's enough, Stop. See how we're slowly getting those depth green ones to open out more? Do you know what I mean? I do appreciate your assistance, Rock, by the way, mate. I do. I do appreciate your assistance. And I do hope you're enjoying my stream, mate. What do you think of it so far? I've only been streaming for the last month with all this setup. I was streaming on Xbox before that, just with Xbox itself. No custom camera, no flang-dangly overlays, none of that. I had to learn all that myself in the last month. I think I've come through rather well. So what we're going to do is we're going to open up those doors just a wee bit more. Alrighty. Just a tidbit more. I'll leave it at about that. Bump the speed up just a little bit. I'm just trying to remember the trim on these doors. Let's see if I can get this to work. This was tricky to work out exactly what and how it adjusted the doors. That trim toggle for the doors, the slight door adjustment. I noticed when I played on PC, it didn't do a hell of a lot, and I even noticed a lot of people on YouTube were saying that they tend to not fiddle with it much. I did have occasions where it did something, and I noticed it on the trawl doors on the Spider, but I'm using the D-pad left, right, up, down right now as we speak, and I noticed absolutely no difference in the door movement on that Spider whatsoever. There was a myth there at one stage that the devs maybe kind of needed to work on that a little bit more because it doesn't do a great deal. I'm kind of getting the feeling that's still the case, funnily enough. Kind of getting that feeling. Anywho, so I'm just going to speed up a little bit more and turn my alarm off on my phone that's going bananas. Oops, flick that around. There we go. The wide of the doors When you say width or wide of the door, I just got to slow down. I'm going a bit too fast. When you say the wide of the doors, you mean how far apart they are? As in how spread apart those two red and green doors are on that bottom right corner of the scan mark? Because I'm using... The width between the doors, or the length up and down, or the height, should I say, up and down? Width or height? Or when you say length, that like length kind of, I don't quite get you when you're saying the length part. But if you mean width or height, the height of the hole opening, or the width of the hole? I think you mean the width, right? Is that what you mean? Width. So which one on the D-pad opens the width and which one, have you worked that out yet? Because I'm still at a loss with that. Shit, I should have put my crew back to sleep while they're not doing fuck. Hang on 1 second. I totally forgot to fucking... Why is it not select... Oh, there we go. I was about to say, it's not letting me select my crew. Those crew guys back to sleep until we are ready to retrieve the net, which at this stage we are thoroughly not. We're nearly half full. So we're doing something right. Oh shit, going a little bit too fast. Honey, would you mind just bringing me a can, please, my sweetheart? Thank you. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at what other things I could add. Well, not add, but take away or add. Temperature, I'm not worried about that. Tension. Tension's sometimes important. Tilt, code end. Flow, head rope. Length of the door. Yeah, we've already got those, I do believe. Do we have distance? Do we have the distance door? That one? We have depth. Do we have the we got depth, but we haven't got distance. Pretty sure distance... What the fuck does DP3 mean again? I'm definitely going to have to Google that one. I'm at a loss when it comes to DP3. Absolute total loss. I don't know about yourself, but... Again, you did mention that you've never heard of it. So... Sorry mate, just grabbing a smoke really quickly for my missus. Just noticed my net's gone ski whiff, give me a second. I've been talking that whole time and I had my goddamn microphone off. Do apologise. I've just missed that school of fish on the port door. See, we might get a couple of fish flow through there. Where's that? You know, there is a sensor that we haven't turned on, and that's the one that shows the fish flow. The fish flow. The flow of, here it is here. Flow of head rope. I think, is it the flow? It's the flow head rope one that tells you how many fish are actually going in. Or catch code end. It's one of these ones we haven't activated that actually show you how many, or the rate of how many fish are going in the net per minute, whatever it is. Basically. I'm just having another smoke, so I thought I'd turn my cam off. We've got that spider in pretty good condition right now. Could be a bit more open, which I'm trying to do. We nearly got the quota nearly half full. The hull nearly half full. It's nearly 40% full. We're going to come across a school of fish here. We might get this big school of fish coming across my port side door here in a second. We might get this bad boy. See that big school of clump of fish coming up on that port side? Hopefully that should catch something. That should be bang on the money right there. I'm going to release that port door a little bit more. And I'm going to... Oh, that should be catching fish right now. I'd like to think it must be catching something, right? For sure. We're on a clump of fish right now. Oh, serious? Come on. What is going on? So I don't get why I didn't... Well, nearly... Yeah, we're catching some... We're getting some fish. Yeah, definitely. We're definitely getting some fish. That is for sure. Oh shit, what happened there? Net went all bum full of it. Something went wrong there. see how we go. We're nearly getting there. Oh, I need to bring in the red one a bit more. We're getting there. Find the fish counter. That's what I need to do, right? We're getting there. You still here, are you, Rock? You're still here, mate. Is it on the screen? What's it called again, mate? Is it on, where are we? Add measurement. Is it flow? It's the flow, isn't it? FLW. Is it flow from memory? I think it's flow. I think it's flow. No, it's not. That's not what it looks like at all. Ah, crap. Ain't that one. It is, from memory, the height. Oh, that's a good one to have. I know from memory the height of the. Oh, here's the flow. That's the flow. There it is, and that it shows you the height, the opening, and the. I can't remember what C stands for, but that's something else. So there we go. That's the flow of the fish right there. That one right there. The one that's got 0 next to it on the left in that hock window, when the fish flow through the net, you'll see that turn into a number. Why am my net starting to do that? Go this way. You can't see. Oh shit, you can't see it because this crap's in the way. Hang on 1 second. There. See how we're getting a flow of fish coming into the net just now? And it says 4 and whatnot. That's it there, above the back button there. See it? The flow, you got height, opening, and then the C stands for something I can't remember. We've got a flow of 4 fish coming through the net just then. A very brief little flow of fishies, but still. Yeah, so there we go. We got that sorted out. We're good. DP3, God, that's bugging the shit out of me. I can't remember what DP3 stands for again. Gonna open the red one some more. Just reel in the green one a little bit more, that should fix it. There we go. Pardon me. Might be the net. What do you mean? what C stands. Oh, the DP3. The length of the. I don't think it's the length of the net. I think if anything, DP4 is going to be the length of the net. 795 meters sounds about right for the length of a trolling net. DP3 might be in correlation to the. I don't know. I'm at a loss. We've nearly got a full load of fish. We're nearly at 60%. We're over halfway. Oh, we've got a flow of fish coming in. 6 fish. We've got some. Oh, 7 fish flow. We've got some schools. We're coming through a little. Oh, and now they're gone. That was very brief. Definitely going to do a bit more homework after this stream and just reconfirm a few things that are vague that are going to help me with this trawler that I watched previously when I was doing all this on my PC. I had it all down pat too. At one point, I watched that much YouTube and shit that I knew how to do it all, but then I stopped playing for all this time for 4 months and like, it's vague. It's very vague. Oh, how far off from the sea floor we are? Oh, you could be right. Maybe, yeah, well. Oh, the one way to check that is just go to your sounder. Just go to the sounder. Look, it tells you the depth of the fuck's the sounder gone? Aren't you gonna let me show the sounder? You prick. Oh shit, I just accidentally stopped the boat. Oh shit, I'm going backwards, I didn't want that. No! Fuck, I hate it when you steer. You know when you steer with the left toggle, when you go left and right, it accidentally adjusts the throttle of the boat. And that's the biggest gripe I have with the Xbox version. Is the left toggle is so touchy with the up and down that when you steer left and right, you don't notice you're doing it with your thumb, but you're actually slowing the fucking boat down or speeding it up, whichever way you don't want it to happen, right? And I just noticed then that as I was farting around doing that, I've accidentally changed the speed of the boat. We're good now, we're fixed, we're good. So, sounder. No, we can't use the sounder while we're in this mode of fit. You can't use the sounder. Why can't I use the sounder? Okay, note to self. Can't use sounder while you're in trolling mode. We've got a little steady flow of fish coming in. Now at this point what you want to do is, you want to start reeling the net in now. Because it's so heavy, the net is literally so heavy that it takes a while to reel in, and while you're reeling in you still catch fish. See how we're getting into the red? We're up to the 80%. Yeah, the sonar, the fish finder, I call a fish finder a fucking sonar, but yeah, same thing. Fish finder sonar. It tells you the depth of the floor. We could have correlated that with the DP3 and see if it matched up, but it's not letting me see the sonar right now. So we've nearly got a full catch. Oh, is it? It is too. Actually, I just noticed that. It is. You're actually correct there, aren't you? Spot on the money. It's going up as I'm reeling in. Well, let's see how many fishies we got. Let's get the crew ready to pull in the net. Crew, get your lazy asses out of bed. Time to do some haul and trawl. The wires will now be reeled in. When your crew is in position, you can start hauling. To start hauling the trawl bag, interact with the haul trawl button on your left. You now need to reel in both warp wires so they are within 25 meters of the ship. Correct, I do remember that. Thank you for reminding me. And to haul in the net is that one. Excuse me. Alrighty. Pardon me. Not a bad run for the first time using the trawler, is it really, when you think about it? How you going, buddy? How was your day at school, alright? So we're just about in. Nearly at 25 meters. It's not going to let me click it yet. That one's at 25 meters. And that one's at 25 meters. Oh no, still got to reel in a bit more. Nope, still not 25 meters. Yeah, a bit more. You just have to wait for it, buddy. Go do some drawing, read a book. God forbid you do something that doesn't involve an electrical device.
Got your phone?
Pardon?
Got your phone?
Yeah, I know, but we need to encourage him into not coming straight home to that every day, which is what he's been doing. Right, still got to reel in these nets apparently. Is it not letting me reel in this net? You're definitely ready for the game. Oh, here we go. Oh, nice. Here we go, they're hauling it in.
Come.
Here we go. Action. It's happening. Check it out, it's happening. Do we get to see how much we get? Ho! Nice. How much did we fill the boat up by? Anything? Oh wait, we're still waiting. Here we go, scoop the loop. That big massive haul of fish. Massive. Oh, that wasn't a bad haul. We got nearly a quarter of our load full. Making progress. First person. What are we doing in first person? Just turn this off for a sec while I have a cigarette. Check sonar. Oh. Wait a sec. We've got to go up here for sonar. Why is it not putting me in that chair and it keeps putting me in this fucking chair? sonar doesn't work when you're out in the open waters. How weird's that? It's only for when you're using the other boats, because the sonar equivalent, I'm guessing, in this game for this boat is that there on the bottom right, I suppose. I'm just going to go to the toilet real quick, man. I'll be right back. Alrighty, I am back. I'm almost tempted before we, you know what, for this stream, I'm not going to waste anyone's time and start YouTubing, Googling shit. I'm just going to soldier on with what we got. We are catching some fish. Oh, okay, DP3 is the depth of the net. Well, that's always handy to know. Pardon me. One thing I'm going to check actually real quick is under the hints, info and tips of trawling. Lower both trawlers down from each other. And then that one. Okay. Alright, so with this occasion now we need to set the crew back to set the trawl doors. Like so. Hit drop. Just going to very slowly start dragging the net, not too fast. It'll help pull these doors open quicker. Let's see how we go. I'm going to stop it right there actually. Stop. Let's just see how much these doors are going to open. Definitely need lowering more. go. That's what I wanted. Alrighty. So much constant. Go to controls. These controls, you mean? Or the other controls? As in the controls. What are you referring to there? Go to controls for... Oh, the tips and tricks, you mean, for trolling? Where I was just before? Like where it gives you info on how to troll and whatnot? That's what you mean? Game control for trolling. Where is the game control for trolling? You've lost me. Sorry, man. I'm trying to get what you're saying. You mean this? Where are we? This over here? Where I was before for trolling? When you talk about trolling? Oh, actually, the scan mask system. This is handy to reread this again. It's king crab. Where's the scan mask system? Oh, here we go. DP3 to measure the depth of the trawl bag opening. Oh, so it's the depth of the opening of the trawl bag. We can confirm DP3 is that. DP2 is depth of doors. And then sensors deep. Show trawl bag opening depth. DP4 show distance to sea. DP4 is distance to the sea floor. DP floor. DP, yeah, here. So forward sensor head rope shows. Forward sensor head rope shows schools of fish ahead of ship. A marker will show how far ahead the schools of fish are. Forward sensor head rope. We have that, right? Forward sensor head rope. That kind of sounds important. Forward. I'm not going to worry about that too much right now. Definitely need to drop these doors a wee bit more, I think. They're not out enough. We haven't got that spider open anywhere near as much as we need to. Forward sonar. Oh, here. Oh, that's that. We've already got that. Oh, okay. We've already got that. That's what... Okay, so we've got that. Remove that. Okay, so we're good. So now our trawl doors are opening. Open the green one a bit more. Open the red one a tad. That's reeling in. Oh shit. God, it's so fiddly, the DVs. Here we go. That's what I wanted. We should be good there. We should start catching fish here at some point with the way the net's set, so I think we should be good. So we're 795 meters. DP, what did DP4 say again? The depth of the net to the seabed floor. Is that what DP4 said again? Depth of the net to the seabed floor? DP4 was depth of the net to the seabed floor. DB4 was depth of the net to seabed floor. Yeah, it shows distance to sea. Oh, shows distance to the seabed, not from the net. just the distance to the seabed. Oh, holy shit. Oh, okay, well, fuck, if that's the case, we might just... Like, yeah, nah, that can't be right. We're catching some fish. At one point we caught a few fishies there. We got nearly 10. We got a partial 10% of catch. I know I could be doing this better somehow. I just can't think how at the moment without doing some research, which I'm holding off doing until I've finished with this stream. And the next time when I stream, I'll be armed with a lot more info that I'm missing that I can't remember. Do you think I need to let the doors out more? Drop them more down? That's what I was thinking, eh? I am on the same page as you. Lucky? Can you get Lucky to come here, love? Lachlan is my 7-year-old son, who's screaming out for his iPad right now. Hey buddy, what's wrong?
I said sorry about I was in a bad mood.
That's alright, mate. Go wash your face. Alright, you overreacting. God, isn't he overreacting? Huh? I know, but I'm just pointing it out. I know why. It's full on. Okay. Alright, buddy. So here, you can have this back, alright? Oh, shh. Quick, please grab that because one of my trawl bay doors are going off its tits. Oh, shit, I forgot to stop letting them out. Got distracted. Oh, shit. I'm gonna fix this door. I'm fixing it. It's getting fixed. It's happening. It's gonna get fixed. Hopefully with any luck. I want to reel in that red one, man. I'm going the right way. There we go. Stop. Perfect. Okay. So we're pretty good. That's pretty good opening on the spider right there, don't you think? Right there? That's pretty good opening. I'm thinking that's pretty good opening. I'm thinking we're doing pretty good. Let's see. Let's see what happens. You know what I'm wondering? I'm wondering if you can steer towards these schools of fish. Which is what I'm going to try and do. You've got to be very gentle with it, because if you oversteer, again the whole net just goes. Alright. The other thing I want to find out too, I haven't mentioned this just yet. Oh, we can't get. You can't go to the map while you're in. You can drop green some. You can drop green a little bit more. Green is this one. Thank you, buddy. You see how as I'm dropping green, it's pulling in that right green icon on the spider. We'll drop by about that much and see how we go. We'll see. We'll drop by that much. We'll see how we go. Right here. We're 70 and 80. We're 10, exactly 10 apart. Both locked off. My biggest discrepancy is I'm going to have to definitely find out how to correlate, like I was talking about earlier, how to correlate the sonar on the bottom right corner of the screen there in relation to which way the boat's going and in which way that correlates with the doobie. See, as I let that red... You don't want both of the red and green exactly the same because the net doesn't go even. I remember... See how I'm letting red out more and see how that green spider's opening more with red being slightly off the other one? See how that's opening out more now? See that? So we've got a lot more open. And it tends to stay pretty openly when you have it about 20 apart. See that? We got red and green about 20 meters apart from different depths. And you notice how the spider's really opened out now. So it's very misconceiving when it comes to thinking that you need both of the drop doors at the same height. You actually don't. And I think that maybe correlate with the realistic aspect of water current, swell. You want one door further down than the other to level out the net because of the way the water's reacting and moving. Who knows? I have no idea. But all I can tell you is the net is open a lot more fuller when you've got the red and green spaced about 15 meters apart, not 10, about 15. You certainly don't want red and green both on the same number, because you'll notice if I do that, then the doors on the spider are going to be out of whack. And I do remember recalling that. And we are catching some fish right now. We're getting five fish right now per... Oh, look, the net's really filling up. Holy dolly, we came across a good little... Look at that, the net's going up and up and up and up, the catch. Nearly at 20% from that little splurge. So that's not too shabby. That's pretty good. I can live with that. Just going to keep trotting along. I'm going to bump up the speed a little bit. The trawl speed of the spider needs to be bumped up a wee bit. So we'll get that trawl speed happening. And by the way, I'm going to chuck out some Merry Christmas cheer here.
Santa's coming to town. Santa! Oh my God!
Oh my God, Santa's coming! Oh my God, Santa! And then we're going to drop in a bit of the elf.
You're feeling strong, my friend? Call me elf one more time.
One more time.
He's an angry elf.
He's an angry elf. He's so angry. Orkney Lad 190, welcome to the stream and thanks for tuning in. Big Merry Christmas to you and yourself and your family. You are joined here with myself and Rock for Life and whoever else drops in and out as I'm streaming. Currently streaming on Facebook as well. Facebook and my YouTube and Mixer all at once, doing a whole big triple platform stream. So a big hello and welcome. So I think we're about to come into some more fish action here in a second. It's looking promising. You can see a school of fish near my starboard door. They're about to encroach on. I think we might get some fish here in a second. Does it really? Shouldn't. I haven't got any reports of latency or packet loss or frame rate drop. Streamlabs is really good. It'll actually let me know when it skips frames or if there's any interruption with the stream, so I'm always checking. I've got this live streaming on my phone right now, and I don't actually see any lockups. So maybe just refresh the stream, just back out of Mixer, completely close Mixer down, and relaunch Mixer. I found that, especially if you're watching on mobile phones and tablets for prolonged periods of time. And so once again, Orkney, once again, thank you very much for dropping in, mate. Whereabouts are you hailing us from? Where are you in this vast world of ours? Where are you tuning in from? I've got my good friend here, Rock for Life, who I've only met a few days ago now. He is from Kansas. Kansas? It is Kansas, isn't it, Rock? Kansas? Pretty sure I got that bit right. You know what I'm actually going to do is I'm actually going to print some stuff out after this stream. I'm going to print some information out so I have it in front of me on paper. Scotland, UK. Well, hello to you, mate, and welcome. Once again, I am a fellow English/Scotsman. I have a Scottish surname. I was born in England, raised in Australia, but all my dad's side of the family is Scottish. I'm actually that proud of my heritage. I'm going to show you this right now. You're not going to be able to see it that well, but I have a Scottish skeleton playing the bagpipes on my right shoulder. You can't probably see it that well, but an actual tattoos of some Scottish heritage there on my right arm. So a big fan of the Scots and the English. Not that they got along in history. We're not going to go down that route, but yeah. Well, welcome. Welcome from Scotland, UK. Good stuff. I've got family still over there. My dad's from originally from Plymouth. Hi, Rachel. How you going? Had a good day? Good stuff. So I'm originally from the UK, like I mentioned. My dad's from Plymouth. I was born in Birmingham. My grandfather was born in Glasgow, Paisley. Good old Glasgow, Paisley. So... it looks awesome. Is that in reference to my stream? You talking about my stream here? How many fish we got at the moment? We need more fishes. Let's see if what's fixed what. You lost me, Rock. Where were we at? Oh, I'm catching fish. Catching a small amount of fish right now, but I'm still catching fish. Go. What the fuck just happened to my net? Look at my net going spastic. It's just gone full haywire. What just happened to my net? My net's gone completely spastic. What the fuck's just happened? Oh no, the swell's picking up. Oh shoot. Oh, I did not predict that. Oh, we got bad weather. Oh, sorry, Orkney. I was trying to work out what that was in reference to. The tattoo. Yeah, thanks, mate. That was not a bad tat job I got done by a friend of mine. Oh, crap. I got way too fast now. Holy dolly. Bear with me. Got to make some modifications to... There we go. Everything's back to normal. The whole net went out of whack then. I think I let my speed accidentally drop while I was chatting away there, and that's why the net just went absolutely crazy spastic. There we go. I'm just leveling. I'm leveling it out. Leveling it out. Wait, oh, no, it's still going. Oh, a bit too fast still. Oh, no, settle down. There we go. We found the sweet spot. Found the sweet spot? Yes, we found the sweet spot. Whew. That was a bit of a moment we just had there. I was wondering why my net was going on. I think I accidentally dropped the throttle too much. Alright, well, the weather's getting pretty bad out here on the open front. Look at all my crew members standing around. I forgot to put them back to bed. Speaking of crew, while we let this boat auto fish for the next few moments, because I'm pretty confident with the speed and everything that I've got it set at, let's go take a quick tour. Probably should check for ice, shouldn't I? Oh, look here, we got the high. Can't use the hydraulics on the open deck. Go. Oh shit, it's not going to let you down there. Let's discover how much we can see of this boat. Some of the boats you can really look around into the engine room and you can get right up in there and really see what's on the boat, but then some boats are just pretty average when it comes to discovering what's going on. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to, I think we'll go downstairs through this way. Yep, here we go. Now which way do I go? I have no idea. Oh, look, we've got a medical bay on this boat. This is our... This game is really good. LSU Jake 2174, thank you so much for joining the stream. Thank you so much for tuning in, and a big Merry Christmas to you, my buddy. Oh look, we've got the kitchen area. Kitchen area down here for the crew quarters. We can then go out onto the outer deck. This game is really great, by the way, LSU Jake. As I've said to some of my other friends and viewers here that I've been streaming to prior, that I used to play this on PC, and it's recently came out on Xbox, and for a fishing simulator, I must admit, it's probably the best out there at the moment. And they are bringing out this same game developer, as my good friend Rock here pointed out earlier in my last stream. The actual game developers are bringing out a new commercial fishing game coming out next year, so be on the lookout for that. Oops. For some reason my throttle decided to stop doing its thing while I was out there on the deck. Normally it just goes into autopilot. So I'm just going to speed, get my spider back into control here real quick. Just going to pull these doors back in so we can catch some more fishes. See, the doors are out of whack on the spider at the moment, but I am in the process of fixing that. We are going to reel in the red door a little bit to fix that problem, like so. There we go, beautiful, that works. Alright, now we can see we've got our spider back on track, and when I refer to the spider, I'm always referring to that, on the top right corner of the screen you can see spider. It shows the opening of the net, the opening of the doors and all that kind of stuff. It gives you relevance into what you're doing. So it gives you a bit of a guide as far as how your trawl doors are doing and how the opening of the net's doing and all that good funky stuff. Actually going a bit fast right now. Oops. There we go. So whereabouts are you from, LSU Jake? Where are you hailing us from, mate? France, Gwen AT80. A big shout out from France. Sacre bleu, mon ami, mon capitaine. I love the French language. I think it's the sexiest language on the planet. French. I had a good friend of mine from England. He was from Colchester, and he grew up in France. He spent the first 6 years of his life in France, and his accent would do things to me. And you know, I'm happily, you know, I've been with my missus now for what, 20 years. So it didn't do things to me that, you know, in that sense, but it really did, you know, that the French accent just, it really gets you. Oh, it's a sexy Louisiana. Holy dooly, LSU Jake, Louisiana. So a big shout out to all the Louisianans down there. Like that's Swamp People territory, right? Off that series, Swamp People. Oh shit, going too fast. That's Swamp People territory. I'm just gonna have a cigarette, folks. I'm just gonna turn my cam off while I have a cigarette. My cam will be turned back on momentarily. I just don't like to stream while I'm smoking. I don't like to promote dirty habits, especially when I'm trying to give up in the very near future. Louisiana. Gotta love a bit of Louisiana action. I've met a few people. I've got a few friends from Louisiana. Quite a few. Quite a few, actually. I've met a few people over the years. It's not hard to it's not hard, like what we're doing right now and what you're watching right now is more of the end game trawling aspect of the game. It gets a little bit more involved. It's a bit more, you know, into it. You don't have to worry about this at the start of the game. All in all, is it a relatively easy game to play? Does it have a speech impediment? Does it have a hard learning curve? And the answer to that question would be no. It's not that difficult. It's a pretty cool, realistic fishing game all in all, to be quite honest with you. A little bit of learning curves when it comes towards more of the end game fishing with the trawling and stuff, which I'm starting to re-familiarise myself with after not playing this on PC for the last 4 months. So on the Xbox I'm having to re-familiarise myself. Does Mixer having a moment with you, Rock? Are the Mixer gods not with you at the moment? We're just trying to fill up this net so we can pull in another haul and we'll be sweet. So now there's something else I'm going to touch on a bit later on in regards to finding the fish out here on these open waters, because I think it has some correlation when it comes to before you come on the open water, you can look at the world map and you can see where the schools of fish are congregating on the open water, whereas when you're in the actual open water itself, you don't really see a great deal. So I'm going to drop the nets a little bit more. So I'm going to feed out both of the trawl doors. So we're going to just drop these nets a wee bit more. Drop them about there. Drop that red one just a little bit more so we can get that spider opened right out. There we go, opening up the spider. Alright, there we go. Should be good there. So we've got a nice opening on the net at the moment. The opening of the net is 135 metres. The height of the net is 653. Apparently. See how there's no fish on the sounder right now? Like on this sounder we are getting no fish at all. None at all. I think I can answer that question very briefly here soon as to why the fish are not in this particular area at this point in time. I think again it correlates with the map before you come in on the open water to sort of find the fish, and that's something I'm going to touch on a bit later on. I'll explain a bit more about what I'm talking about now a bit later on. It'll make more sense later on. Alright, so I just need to quickly go grab this. I'll be right back, folks. Okay, folks, I am back. I'll turn my cam back on so everyone can see what's going on here on my end. So at this point, you'll notice that we're not seeing a lot of fish activity. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start retrieving the net, and we might drop at a different location here in a second, or at least pull in the doors till we start seeing some fish. What do you think there, Rock? If you're still with us, I think you might have gone for the moment. Yes, I am. Just going to start pulling in these nets a bit more. Louisiana, eh? So what's the weather like down there in Louisiana, mate, if you're still with us? I think Jake may have gone on us, but I can't, you know, Flight Simulator 2020, speaking of which, Orkney, as you were mentioning earlier, that's probably going to be quite a decent game, especially from what I've heard. Actually, I read a small bit about that. There we go. Leave the nets there. We're actually coming across no fish at the moment. We're gonna pull in these nets and we're gonna drop somewhere else. I think we're just over a really bad fishing ground. You moved to my YouTube stream, bro? You on old YouTube, Lee? Wonder what's going on with Mixer. Having a bit of a moment. Well, on my end, Mixer seems to be moving great. In fact, it's YouTube or Facebook. I'm streaming on Facebook too. So, depending on what better quality you get, Facebook, YouTube. I know Mixer's the better of all three of them, just out of personal experience streaming to all three platforms. I've rewatched some of my videos and I always find, well, for a start, Facebook doesn't support, unless you're affiliated with Facebook, which is a mission, just like it is to get partnered with Mixer. Unless you're affiliated with Facebook, you can only stream at a max of 30 FPS, 1280 by 720p. Whereas Mixer supports up to 1080p. So you're always going to find the qualities, I think, always better on Mixer Live than Facebook and YouTube. Yeah, I'm going to reel in these nets because we have got no fish inside at the moment. We're going to drop somewhere else. Let's have a look. Pardon me. I'm not actually monitoring my YouTube live stream. I'm mainly monitoring my Facebook chat on Mixer and Facebook, not my YouTube chat. Is the weather oh wow, the weather's getting really choppy. I was wondering what was going on. Oh geez, did I let's just leave that like that for a second. It's getting really choppy right now. Oh, too fast. The hell is my throttle setting on right now? No, we're just going to keep reeling in. Just going to keep reeling in. We're going to drop at a different spot. Reel in these nets. Am I really? Oh god, you know what? I just realised I'm going the wrong way. I'm supposed to be pulling them in, not pulling them out. Yeah, I know, I just realised, Rock, I'm such a fucking douche. That's one of those moments where you're like, yeah, I did that. That just happened.
Rachel.
Again, the perks of getting reacquainted with trawling and getting refamiliarised with the whole reeling in and reeling out. Thank you for rejoining us, Gwen. All the way from France. Amazing. What a beautiful country. France. I only know a little bit of French, and that pretty much covers these few words: sacre bleu, and mon chéri, and je t'adore. Don't know what that means, but I just remember it from movies. And what else? All sorts of different words that I like from the French linguists. Yeah, much love to the people of France. Beautiful country. Must admit, I reckon me and my missus would love to visit there one day. Bit of French action. And we're just retrieving these nets, and we're going to relocate this big massive ship to a different area. Hauling in the nets, and while hauling the nets I've got to get my crew ready to retrieve the net, so I'm going to do that now. I keep forgetting to put them back to bed after I set the net. That's something else I'm going to have to start getting more reacquainted with, so that way they have more energy. Hopefully they haven't wasted too much. Oh no, they're still good. Yeah, tough fishermen, these blokes that I've got on my crew. Tough fishermen's. So I used to love, speaking of French, who here in chat remembers that cartoon called Pepe Le Pew? It was that French skunk that always used to have a fetish with that cat, that tomcat. He'd be like, oh, mon chéri, like, he'd be like that whole French thing going on. Who remembers that cartoon? I might be going back a bit, showing my age. I mean, I'm nearly 40, but I do recall that cartoon. Just can't remember the name of it. Just can't for the life of me think of the name. In the 80s. Yeah, Looney Tunes. Yeah, off Looney Tunes. Yeah, Looney Tunes was on and all that sort of stuff. That skunk. Oh, mon chéri, sacre bleu. You smell like pussycat. No. Oh my goodness. Where are we? Here we go. No, it's still not going to let me trawl it in. Why don't you let me reel this net in? Not reel it in, but pull it in. I am reeling it in. Where are we? Let's have a wee bit of a look-see. Oh shit, didn't mean to get off the damn controls. Now it should let me pull it in. Why isn't it letting me pull it in? Now we've got to go more. I think from memory it automatically pulls it in when you get to the... It should be pulling it in. What's going on? What am I missing? It says trawl net must be within 25 meters of the ship. Well, it's got to be within 25 meters of the damn ship. The trawl doors have got to be hanging right off the back here. They are. Oh, wait a second. Wait a second. Is that going to help? Huh? It's still not letting me. Okay, I'll just keep reeling in at this point. What's that, honey?
I didn't get nothing from your mum.
Didn't ya?
Huh?
Nah. Oh, well, she probably expected that to be out of the other. I do apologise, folks. We should have been... Oh, here we go. We got it. Yay, we got it. We got the net in. So you pretty much... You got to get it in more than what they say. Here we go. Let's have a look. Oh, look at that big mob of fishies. Flintstones, Jetsons, Gargoyles, Aladdin, Series X-Men, Justice. You know, I'm going to take you way back. I'm even going to put this in chat. What about this famous cartoon that I love? He-Man. He-Man. That is not a very good catch. I mean, it's not bad, but it's certainly not fucking anything to jump up and home about what we just pulled in. I had a better pull on my first pull. I'm not trying to sound erotic there, but I had a better pull on my first pull when I dropped my nets. I have the power, He-Man. He-Man. Alrighty. So what we are going to do? So you notice something that I've just reminded myself of as... Okay, we're going to leave the open water, and I'll tell you why. Let's go to the map now that we're off the open water. Now that we're off the open water, we can go to the map. Now, this is what I wanted to quickly cap on about what I was talking about a bit earlier about relevance to the schools of fish on the open water. Now, you'll see how when you look over this big, massive green circle, the schools of fish still do come up on it. You got pollock, redfish, king crab. Now, my question that I never answered from the PC version. Are you an 80s? Well, you're an 80s child, aren't you, Rocky? You're 34. Happy birthday for next month, by the way. I haven't forgotten. So I take note of my viewers. So basically, what I'm trying to correlate and work out is whether these schools of fish that come in this green zone here have an impact on what's going to be in the open water, or whether that's just the schools of fish if you were fishing on a normal longliner or a normal net boat in this area. And I think I'm going to go with the latter. I think, in my opinion, from what I've seen and experienced in the past, is that these school zones are only relative to what's in the open map, and then when you go into the open water for the trawler, that's a whole separate school of fish in there in itself, and you just got to find them. Now, I'm leaning towards that theory, and I'll tell you why. Because mackerel you can catch whilst in the open water where we just were. Yet mackerel don't show up on the fish population species as we're scrolling through now. Haddock, redfish, cod. The mackerel doesn't show up. So I'm thinking the open water is its own separate habitat of fish. That you just have no real relevance of where they are until you actually go into the map like we just were. So if I go back into the map now, right, we go back into the open, right, and so then we go back here, and we look on here, and we're going to see no data because none of my nets are in the water. But you see what I'm saying? You sort of see what I'm getting at? And because the weather is now really shitty, one thing I'm going to check real quick is what the weather's doing. Ooh, damn, weather's bad. Alright, with the weather being this terrible, we're going to leave the open water, we're going to head back. It's a separate map, right, Rock? You're probably agreeing with me on that one? It's a separate map, totally. That's what I'm thinking. Oh, is that an oil rig out? That's an oil rig out. I didn't even notice that. So, one of two things we can do. We can go back with a semi-load in this stormy conditions and drop that off and come out in much calmer conditions, which I'm more voting for that option. Or we can stay out here and find some more schools of fish, just quickly relocate like this in the open water, and then drop the net and see how we go again. Now, I'm more for going back and dropping this catch off while these stormy conditions are coming in, because it's going to be an absolute bitch to control the ship. So that being said, that's what we're going to do. We go back into this port real quick, wait till the weather finds up a bit more, which is just exactly what you've got to do in real life in some instances, am I right? You know, with fishing, you can't always stay out there as much as you want to, and it does have that realism with the weather and everything, so I'm just going to go with that. I'm going to go back into port here. I'm just going to get a bit closer to port so I don't have to travel as far. There we go. So I'm just going to make sure I put my crew back to bed, because I know I haven't, because I keep forgetting to do it of late. There we go, crew's put back to bed. Alright, let's go drop this catch off. See how much money we made off a quarter. You reckon switch ship to what ship? You reckon get out of the trawler for now?
Especially if it's choppy.
Too choppy. Thanks, bud. Just talking to my son. So what boat do you reckon we switch to, Rock? We're going to switch to something else. One of my boats that I haven't used the quotas up yet for the cod. Probably be a good idea. Look at me sitting in the back of the boat up there. I just look, I'm still sitting in the back of the cockpit. I don't know if you guys can see that relatively well, but I can see my little avatar icon in the back of the bridge of the ship where we sit to control the sonar and the net and everything. That's crazy. Alright, so we're going to drop off. How much did we make? 2.3 million. Holy dooly. And that's only off a quarter of a fill. That's only off a quarter of a fill. 2.3 mil. And I only had my cargo quarter full. So from memory that's kind of adding up, because I think from memory this boat, when it's got a full load, can pull in around 6 million to 8 million per load, thereabouts. I'm going to have a cigarette real quick, folks. I do apologise. I'm going to turn the cam off while I have a cigarette, so bear with me. So what do you recommend, Rock? Which boat should we go in? You reckon we get out of the trawler for now until the weather finds up a bit more? Because when you look at mackerel, when you go to mackerel, it says all year round. Which type of boat are you thinking, Rock? What are you recommending? A long liner or a netter? What are you thinking? Oh shit. Just realised I had my TV turned up that whole time. There we go. Okay, good call. Use one that hasn't done its quota yet. Good call. I'm liking where you're looking with that, where you're thinking. Alright, let's do it. So we're going to... We'll have to go back to the other port though. Bear in mind we've got to quickly head back to the other port real quick to switch over boats. So we're going to have to do that. How much do I need? Do I need to top up the fuel in this thing? Oh, we will, just for shits. I might even fix the hull real quick. You can get your crew to fix the hull, it saves costs. But again, I'm not overly worried. I try to get the crew to do it from time to time just to cut back on, you know, costs. Do you know what? I actually stopped smoking, Orkney lad, last year for 9 months, and then I ridiculously picked up the dirty habit again. And I did it all cold turkey. I quit for 9 months cold turkey. And the only reason why I didn't go with the vape option, to answer your question, with the whole vape pen, you know, it'll help you stop smoking, is because you're replacing one addiction with another. And not only that, but you are also trialling something that hasn't been trialled and tested for very long. And from what I've read and heard in the media, vape is worse than cigarettes itself in some aspects. There's new science and studies and data coming out with those vape pens that are turning me off even ever going to vape more and more. I'd rather just cold turkey it like I did last year, and I was completely in an angry mood for the first week with no nicotine patches or anything, than I would go to a vape pen. And again, just because you're replacing one addiction with another, you're not really curing yourself of anything. In fact, you're putting something in your body that hasn't had a 50-year truck history of what it can do to you. You know, we know what smoking can do. Smoking's been around since World War II, you know what I mean, or early war, you know, prior to that, whatever. And we kind of get it. We got an idea of what smoking's going to do to us. But these vape pens that have just come out in the last 10 years, fuck that. That's got hairs written all over it. Well, I do both. Not that I'm trying to advertise it. I do both. I smoke both. And yeah. But yeah, vape. I'll vape the other type of healthier smoke, but I won't vape that synthetic nicotine, fucking oil liquid shit that you put in those vape pen smoking wackamadooveries, whatever you want to call them. Turn this boat around, upside down. Here we go, we just made that big turn. Alright, here we go. We'll go switch boats. Just cut around the long way there. I could have cut that corner just there, but I'm overly not too worried, so I just want to come in on a more direct deck. There we go. Yeah, it does. You know what, Rock? I 100% agree with you on that. I will 100% agree with you on that. 100%. Because it fixes that itch that you need to have a puff. And it also does a lot more than what tobacco ever would. Tobacco is just going to kill you non-stop. We've already proven medicinally marijuana has many more positive effects and positive results with medicinal situations, and I know this a lot more than some people because I have a daughter with special needs, and eventually when they legalise cannabis oil over here, which they have already, but it's so expensive in Australia that I just can't afford to trial it on my daughter, but I'm a big advocate of medicinal marijuana, that's for sure, and even recreational use, but you know, that's just my thing, that's my opinion. Let's have a look at what ships we can choose from here that I haven't used my quota on. Now, this ship's a good money maker. It does help. My daughter has severe epilepsy and autism. My daughter actually suffers from a couple conditions, and two of which, or one of which you've named. So, Wonky Bear, mate. Wonky, how the fuck are you, buddy? How you going, Wonky? What's crack-a-lackin' over there in your part of the world? Thank you so much for the host. Do appreciate it. An old champ Wonky Bear here that's decided to join us. Now, what boat am I going to go with? Let me just think. What am I use my quota on? you can get CBD oil. Yeah, the non autism is it varies, right? And again, how you going there, Wonky? Autism, you can get mild cases and severe cases of autism. You know, it's all you know, varies on person to person, as we all know. My daughter just doesn't only have 2 conditions; she's got 3. She's got full-blown epilepsy, she's got a slight autism, and she's got what they call a global developmental delay. And what that kind of interprets into is she's obviously got epilepsy, which she suffers from seizures. She's obviously got a slight bit of autism learning. The intellectual disability comes into it where they've done Griffith's test, like mental intellectual tests on her, and she's now 16 years of age. She just had a recent one done, and with no word of a lie, my daughter's around pre-primary age as far as intellectual goes, so she's around the age of about a 4 or 5 year old. Physically, she's 15 to 16 years of age. So, again, that comes with a lot of troubles and tribulations. So, but without getting off track here, let me just quickly assess what boats we haven't caught our quotas for and what boats we have. That boat's nearly got its full quota for cod. That boat's already got its full quota for cod. This boat is probably one of the boats we could utilise. Old Wombat. Wombat still has quite a bit of his quota. This is a net boat, so we will go back to this one. Let me just check what else. I've got to check fuel. Check fuel real quick. Check the fuel. Let's check the map to see what. See, we're coming towards the very end of cod season now. You'll notice now the blotches of cod are starting to deteriorate as far as what they were in the early seasons or late season of last year in game when cod season first came in. There's a lot more yellow blotches of cod around. Now we've only got very segregated, very faint green. That's a hot spot right there, but it's relatively small. Another hot spot over here. Again, relatively small. We still want to capitalise on this cod. We've got cod. Oh, here we go. We've got a cod hotspot straight out of our front door. So we're going to come straight out this harbour and drop some of these nets right here. That's the game plan. So without any further delay, let's get to it. I've actually, I don't, like to bring this up a lot, obviously, but actually lost a child when she was 5 years old to the same condition my eldest daughter is currently suffering from. So originally I had 3 children, now I only have 2. One the age of 15, nearly 16, my daughter with special needs, and my son Lachlan, who is 7 years old, and luckily enough, he doesn't suffer from epilepsy, doesn't suffer from global developmental delay. He does suffer from a slight bit of autism. He does have a very mild case of autism, but he has no epilepsy, has no seizures, nothing like that. He's just got a very mild case of autism. So, but yeah, so there you go. What's that? And a bit of ADHD, yeah, as my partner pointed out. My son does suffer from a mild case of ADHD, so, well, mild, mediocre, not mild, but sort of average. Not mild, not too bad, but in the middle as far as ADHD is concerned. So we're going to drop on one of our 165 metre nets right here on this spot of cod. Mate, if I'm telling you right now, Boba Ganache, I hope I pronounced that correctly. This is, if you're a deadliest catch fanatic like I am, or a fishing fanatic on any level like I am in real life and in game, you'll fucking love this game. You'll absolutely love it. Ask any of the boys here in chat right now with me. Good old Rock for Life here is hanging out to get it. A few other people that have been viewing my stream over the last few days, streaming this new game on Xbox, which has been on PC for quite a while now. If you love commercial fishing on any level, you want to itch that you get for that deadliest catch, this is the game for you. It has king crab fishing, you name it, you've come to the right place. This is the game for that sort of action. And by the way, Bubba Ganesh, a big Merry Christmas and welcome to my stream. Chucked at it.
Merry Christmas, everybody, and a Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas. We're going to chuck out. Now, I know from memory, without even looking, that this boat... You've been helping me get back in my groove, haven't you, Rock? So this boat holds 40,000 kilos of fish. Now, I know from memory, because I've been playing this now enough in the last few days on Xbox, that the most nets that you want to drop for a boat of this size to what it can hold is the 165 metre nets, which we're dropping now. You want to drop 4 of those, right? And maybe a 5th one. Depends on the scenario, depends how many fish are around. In this scenario, I'm just going to drop 4. I'm not going to drop 5. Because this is a relatively small school. Look, I'm telling you right now, I've played that game you're talking about, right? And I've played this game, and I've done king crab fishing, Bubba Ganesh on Xbox, or not on Xbox, but on the PC version. I'm about to do it on the Xbox version of this game. But I've done the king crab fishing, and all in all, I'm pretty happy. You're going to see some king crab fishing here in the next couple of days. If you come back and tune in on my stream in the next day or two, by then I'll have a king crab boat on my Xbox version. I'll be able to show you that. Yeah, this is a cool game, man. There's a lot involved in this game. There's a lot involved. You've just come into the stream, so feel free to stick around if you've got time. If you haven't, always come back and tune in. Don't forget to hit follow. Feel free to ask any questions. I do only want you to hit follow, and I mean this, if you enjoy the content. I don't want people following me just for the sake of following me. So if you enjoy the content, you enjoy the environment, don't forget to hit that follow button, and you will see some king crab fishing coming up here in the very near future on my streams. We've just started doing a bit of the pelagic trawling with the large boat we just had a bit earlier, about half an hour ago in my stream. We're now coming back to some of my boats that I haven't used up my quota for, to just make those extra dollars, get the dollars coming in. But all in all, there's quite a variety of fishing you can do in this game. You can do long line fishing, you can do net fishing, you can do king crab fishing, you can do pelagic fishing, you can do bottom trawling fishing. So there's 5 straight off the top of my head. You are dead right. You're absolutely dead right there, Wonky, with that comment. Yes, you do. I have a crew right now. If you have a look here, I'll go to the crew button on the bottom right. You notice on the bottom right corner, I'm highlighting between these bottom icons on the bottom right corner. If you go to the crew icon, you'll see here on this particular boat, we have 5 crew on board that are all resting currently on the left side of the screen over here, all these 5 lads here. Now, you can put these guys in to pull the nets in, to gut the fish, freeze the fish, and stack the fish. Now, here in the next few moments, once we pull in these nets, I'll demonstrate exactly what I'm talking about and show you how we pull these nets in and how the crew help with that, and the different ways that you can go about it. Here we go, dropping net. So we're going to drop this last net, this 4th net, just on the edge here of this big massive school of fish. And drop this last net. Go. What this bar is for, and I've already said this to some of my friends that are already watching the stream that have been following it, this blue bar, you got to go the opposite direction it's going to. So if it's going right, you've got to steer left. If it's going left, you've got to steer right. And that's so, especially in rough conditions when the swell's really picking up, pardon me, when the swell's really picking up, you got to keep an eye on this net when you're putting it out. Welcome back, Wonky. The weather does get very intense. You can come out here and this whole boat, so you ask Rock for Life that's tuned in right now, he watched me, that you can get this boat rocking. Like in a bad stormy conditions, this thing gets all over the place and it makes it really hard. Thank you so much for the sparks, Wonky Bear. Thank you so much for the support. Appreciate it. Alright, so folks, what we're going to do now is we're going to dart back into the harbour. We're going to speed up the time to pull in these nets and see what we get. Let's have a look. So it's only going to take me 40 minutes to get back out. It's very close to the port. So travel time that you have to allow for is very minimal. Alright, so as we go back into this port, we're going to check how long the hooks have been soaked for. So the hooks have been soaking for, the first set has now been soaking for, as it says in the top right corner of the screen there, net 1 has been soaking for a period of 3.5 hours, thereabouts. 3 hours and 37 minutes and counting. It's only going to take us an hour to get back out on that spot, so we really need to speed up the time by quite a bit.
Call me Elf one more time.
You're feeling strong, my friend. That's a good one. I like that one. I chucked on the
feeling strong, my
mixed
friend.
playboard.
Call me Elf one more time.
He's an angry elf.
He's an angry elf. He's an angry elf. Angry. So we're going to pull in here real quick. So we're going to skip forward. The nets have been in for 3 hours. It's going to take an hour to get out there. We need to skip at least 15 hours. Just double check how long these nets have been soaking. Yep, perfect. God, I'm good. So now we're going to go back. It is very pretty realistic. And there's more to show too that I haven't. So here we go. So you'll notice, folks, that net number 1 has now gone from yellow or red to yellow, from yellow to green, goes from green to blue, and then you are ready to pick up those nets. So we're up, they've gone blue. Perfect. We're now going to get our crew members ready to reel in these nets, and our more experienced ones for the job. So I'm going to go over here, I'm going to chuck him. No, that's actually where I didn't want him, but anyway. I have to move him afterwards in a second. I want you in the freezer, I want you on the stacking like I always do, and I want you on the machine gutting. Okay, so when you highlight these crew, I'm going to bring this up very briefly. I'm going to bring this up very briefly. When you highlight your crew, you can see what they're skilled at already. You can get these yellow bars come up, and they're the preference of what they're already trained in. Pot handling, net hauling, whatever it is, whatever the case may be. So just note that's how you check what's going on with your crew and what jobs that they are more experienced in doing, and they're going to be a little bit more efficient. So here we go, just going to pull up nice and carefully. Put my spotlight on so I can see what's going on. There we go, we can see the buoy on the right side of the boat there coming in. I'll let these guys pull this net up real quick on their own. See how many fish they pull in for me.
That's shocking.
That's shocking. That's absolutely shocking, Wonky. So you'll notice they're pulling in this net real quick. While they do that and we wait for them to pull this in, I'm just going to run to the toilet real quick. I will be right back. Oh, you just reminded me. Actually, I'm back. I got to check my events too, don't I? I haven't checked that in a while. Check the events. Demand for cod and haddock at the fish market has fallen. Cod prices are down 25 credits and haddock prices are down 10G. Oh, fabulous. Means all the cod we're pulling in right now we're going to get really shit money for. Well, not crap, but yeah, not the best either. That being said, I'm going to pull in the next net. So that way we get more of a catch. I'm going to quickly navigate around to net number 2. Go on then. You can't help yourself. I know you can't. The siren. The siren. Right, so pulling up on this next net that we've got to pull in. Pulling in on this one. Here we go. Pulling it in. Time to play the D-pad minigame. Go. God, I'm good at this. You can tell I've been It will be. I'm smoking a cigarette because I'm not allowed to. I shouldn't be smoking while I'm streaming a family orientated stream. I'm smoking a cigarette, so I've turned my camera off. When I'm smoking an 18 plus rated, when I'm streaming an 18 plus rated stream, I don't care. But when I'm doing like a family friendly sort of one for Facebook and everything else, I try and keep promoting disgusting habits off my stream. Yeah, that's all it is. That, and you're not technically supposed to smoke on a teen or family rated stream according to Mixer. Pretty sure a lot of people violate that rule and don't get in trouble for it, but I'm certainly not going to leave myself open for that. Cod are definitely depleting. That's not a very good catch at all. You can tell it's definitely coming towards the end of codding season. We're at the end of, we're in the start of February, towards the middle of February, and this is the end of the last month of codding season for this month in game is February. So we're at the real tail end of cod now, coming towards the real tail end of it. Pull this one in. Beautiful. That's what we're looking for. I'll read what you said in a second, Wonky. I'm just pulling these fish real quick. Thank you so much for the sparkages. Appreciate it. Shit, just broke my net, hit the wrong button. Real much. You can repair the nets when you go back into shore. if you hit the wrong button in this little D-pad minigame. You just got to repair the nets when you get back. Oh, that was not a bad... Oh, yeah, now our boat's nearly half. Here we go. I'm going to pull in this last net, and that should just about fill us. That should just about fill us. There we go, we're just pulling this last one. Thank you so much for the sparkies there, Rock. Appreciate it, buddy. Alright, I've finished smoking my cigarette, so I can now turn my webcam back on. There we go. Now, what did you say? When I'm smoking Aussiedigr 2019, did smoking because that is not the... Hang on, you've lost me with that one, Wonky. When I'm smoking Aussiedigr 2019, did smoking because that is not the... You've totally lost me there, Wonky. I have no idea what you were talking about then. 100,000! Holy shit! Loving the spark supports. I'm gonna pull in this net. Here we go. Thank you so much for the spark supports. I do appreciate it. I appreciate all you guys tuning in and spending this precious time that we all don't get a lot of these days, especially when real life and kids and everything else comes into the fold. Time is precious. Here we go. This should just about fill us up. And you'll see. Pretty much spot on with my accuracy lately. You're back again, Wonky. Where'd you go, mate? Go. Beautiful. Oh, storage is full. Beautiful. That worked out beautiful. And you'll notice now we've depleted this cod location rather voraciously. There's only a subtle green here now, so cod is really starting to fall off the map now. It's coming towards end of season. There's a blotch up here. Decent. There's a small little blotch there. That's not going to last very long. What's haddock doing? Oh, there's a lot of haddock around. There's a bit of haddock up north. Oh, look at that. Oh, haddock central. That's a lot of haddock up there. I think we might be fishing for haddock. Because that appears to be the thing. So we're going to go back into port real quick. Put my crew members back to rest, which I no doubt have not done yet. Just out of priority. Yeah, no, of course I haven't. So, I'm supposed to do this when we're on our way back. I'm just multitasking to the max, explaining bits and pieces as I go, and I'm forgetting to do minor little things. Alright, here we go. So the crew's gone back to bed. Off. Oh, look, they're going to go back into the bottom of the deck. There he goes. Off he chundles in the door. Back to sleep. Alright. Here we go. Alright, beautiful. We're in. What did we get? Yeah, 656 grand. Not too bad really for a quick little turnover. Got to repair some nets that I damaged last time. There we go, that's done. Let's just check the map real quick. Yep, so all haddock. Haddock and pollock are all up in that area. You can see the variances in the school but they're very closely in relation to each other. What do you mean, do I need to check myself? Sorry, I don't quite get the question there, Rock. What do you mean, mate? Ragnar the Lothbrook, thank you so much for joining the stream, and a big Merry Christmas. Thanks for tuning in and joining Aussiedigr and the rest of us guys here watching at the moment. Do appreciate it. So what do you mean? Do you need to check yourself with 100k sparks? What's that mean, Rock? Just to reiterate. Where are you going with that one? Me? Sounded like a crapped brick. I must admit your slang I can't relate to very well. I don't know what sounded like a crap brick is meant to sound like. I'm gonna have to go up there, I think, and then refuel the boat. Off we chundle. Still looking out for that panther, Wonky? Alright, here we go. I'm going to chundle up here where all this action is. We've got pollock, haddock, good stuff coming. Here we go. Oh, presents! Santa's bringing presents. Rock for Life's got some presents for everybody. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. I want to fast travel. There we go. And drop that net. So what's everyone got planned for the rest of their entire evening / morning, day, or wherever everyone is again? I know for a lot of you folks over in the US it's going to be evening. Wonky Bear is over here on my side of the world, so it's going to be afternoon, early evening for him. That's one net dropped. Drop another one right here. Now one thing you got to remember when net dropping, cod are a heavier fish, so you can only drop so many nets when you're catching for cod. Night time for you, 2:39 AM. There you go, that's dedicated. That is dedicated. 2:30, fuck me, I'll be asleep. As I was saying, now that we're fishing for haddock and pollock weigh much less than the cod do. Pollock are the second heaviest weighing fish in the game. Haddock are come a close second, with redfish being the lowest. Redfish and pollock are the lowest, lighter weighing fish. Haddock, sorry, I'm mixing it up. Pollock is the second heaviest fish. Haddock and redfish are the lightest weighing fish. So bearing that in mind, when you're dropping nets for these particular species, you need to drop more nets to fill up your quota because they're a lighter weighing fish. if that makes any sense, which I hope it does. You'll see what I mean by when I go to, for example, here, and I go to there. You can see on a clear example when you're looking through that book that cod weigh up to 40 kilos, pollock weigh up to 16 kilos, haddock and redfish only weigh up to 10 kilos. So haddock and redfish being the lower scale of the fish, meaning you need to put more nets out to catch more of in weight. So, and what we're going to do is we're going to burn a bit of time like I normally do in between nets. So we're going to quickly just do that. So I burn about an hour before I have to pick up those other ones. And we're going to drop another one right here. We're going to drop 5 165 meter nets at this location. Oh well, you sure as would be lucky that didn't happen, Wonky, wouldn't you? And I don't know what I'd do if I was in your shoes and if that would have happened to me, I'd definitely be doing some crazy stuff. So if some wild animal like a panther might be doing that to such a small animal. Now, unfortunately, folks, it's coming towards the end of my streaming session for today. I've been streaming for about an hour and a half this morning, and then I streamed for about 3 hours and 26 minutes so far. I do have some bits and pieces I have to get to doing at some stage here soon. So I'm going to drop this net, this 4th net over here. But I do appreciate everyone dropping in and hanging out and chilling with Aussiedigr and everybody else that's been viewing. By the time I come back again tomorrow, I should hopefully have progressed a bit more and I can shed some more light on pelagic trawling and bottom trawling and using the lunar bow and the Hermes in a much more efficient way. I'm going to do a bit more homework on the old YouTube tutorials on refreshing some of the things I need to just clarify, just to increase the efficiency of my fishing with the big trawler boat. Thank you so much, Rock for Life and Wonky Bear. And we're going to quickly drop one more net right there. Drop that last one there. I will be back on again tomorrow.
Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas, everybody, and a Happy New Year.
And a happy Merry Christmas to you, Wonky. And a big Merry Christmas, mate. To you and all the family and everyone that's watching and has watched. Big Merry Christmas from Aussiedigr Streams. Don't forget to check out my Facebook page. Links are in the description for the for all that on Mixer in my About Me section, and you can find the social media links even through the Mix Playboard. So if you aren't already following me on my Facebook page, I really do encourage you guys to chuck a follow on my Facebook page. I'd really appreciate it. My Facebook page is relatively a new page, and I've already got up to 15 followers. It's only about 3-4 weeks old, my Facebook page, and I've already got 15 followers. I've got up to 71 followers now on Mixer, so we're getting closer to that 100 follower mark on Mixer. And YouTube, I've only got a couple of subscribers at the moment, so I'm getting there. I'm definitely getting my foot in the door. So I appreciate any of you guys supporting me on those other external social media links that I stream through. We're going to leave it at that. We've got our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got a 5 net set out on this pollock school. I'm going to save the game here. And that'll be about it. I think we've covered quite a bit today. It's been rather good. It's been a rather constructive, good session. Been giving out some invaluable tips and info on what to do and what not to do in this game. So I like it. I hope you guys did enjoy it as well. I think you did. So yeah, man, I got a YouTube page. If you click on the Mixplay board and click on the YouTube link, it'll give you a direct link to my YouTube channel there. So if you just double check it is there, it should be. Yeah, so if you go to the Mixplay board or you go to the About Me section on my Mixer, you'll see a direct link there for YouTube, my YouTube page, YouTube channel. Just double checking that it is still showing up on my mobile, on my Mixplay board, which it should be. Where is Mixplay board? Let's close Mixplay. Open Mixplay. So yeah, if you basically touch the YouTube link under the Mixplay buttons there, wonky, that'll give you a direct link to my YouTube channel. Once again, appreciate all you guys for dropping in and taking the time to spend, you know, your invaluable time with me and myself and I on this YouTube stream, Mixer stream and Facebook stream. And peace out. Aussiedigr from Outback Streamers Down Under, signing off.